Hi, the purpose of this video is to show how to set up a PLC program using RSLogix500. I'm doing this without the benefit of having the PLC connected to my computer, so I'm doing it all manually. If you're connected to your PLC and you have communications, you can shortcut some of these steps. I'll show you how. So first is to start RSLogix500, and you'll have a screen like this. Next is to start a new program. You can do that by clicking on the white sheet of paper icon in the top left corner. The program is now going to ask you which processor you're using. The trainer that I have, I'm using a SLIC 500, and it's the 503 processor, so I'll find it in the list. You will figure out what yours is by looking on the inside of the plastic door that's hinged on the front of the processor. Near the bottom you'll find a part number like this, 1747 L531. That's what's on my processor. You find the one that fits yours. When you find it in the list, click on OK. The next step is to do the I/O configuration. The purpose of the I/O configuration is to tell your program where you have physically placed the input and output cards in the PLC chassis. We'll do that next. Double-click on I/O configuration. Next, you need to know how many slots are in the rack or in the chassis. The default is 4 slots. The PLC that I'm using is a 7-slot chassis, so I'm going to change that now. You'll notice that the rack is numbered 0 to 6. It always starts with slot 0 on the left, and that's where the processor is located, and it counts 0 to 6 for 7 slots. The next step is to put in the input and output cards that are physically located in the rack. So I'm going to find those in the list on the right side. The part number for each input and output card are located on the inside of the plastic door that's hinged on the front of the input card or output card. My first card is a 1746 IB16. They're listed alphabetically. When you find it, double-click on it, and it will put it in the list. The next card in my trainer, PLC trainer, is a 1746 OW16. Again, you'll find your part number inside the plastic door that's hinged on the front of the output card. The last input card that I have is a combination card, and it's in slot 3. It's a 1746 IO4. It has inputs and outputs on it. I'll double click on it. Slots 4, 5, and 6 don't have anything in them in my trainer, so we'll just leave those blank. When you're done, you can click on the X and close the window. If you were connected directly to your PLC, you could have clicked on the Read I/O config, and that would have automatically selected the 7-slot rack and all the inputs and outputs, and it will put them in the correct slots. The next step that I do is I check the channel configuration. When you get a PLC, it has some default settings for how fast it talks to the computer through the communication cable, and I want to check those on mine. When I open up the channel configuration, it starts here on the General tab. I want to go to the Channel 0 System tab, and the default baud rate is 1200. That's what everything starts at, and it's really slow. I've configured my PLC to work at 19,200, so I'm going to change my program to that now. If you're unsure of what your baud rate is, you'll have to do some research and figure out whether yours is at 19,200 or a different number. Okay, now we're ready to write a program.